If you're looking for a delightful, heartfelt rom-com to stream this Valentine's Day, I Want You Back is an excellent choice. Let's talk about it now. Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watcher Pass. Today I'm going to talk to you about I Want You Back, which is coming to Amazon Prime on February 11th, 2022, just in time for Valentine's Day. It's coming to streaming, so if you got Amazon Prime, you can check it out from the comfort of your own home, have a nice Valentine's Day in, have a socially distanced Valentine. Whatever you want to do, this is the perfect movie for that. My hot take is I love this movie. I thought it was a great combination of kind of humor and heart. I loved the lead. The story was fun. It had a lot of interesting characters. It was a little predictable, but then it kind of threw a wrench towards the end. So overall, I really love this. I thought it was a great movie, and also it had some really funny writing. So definitely check it out. And the fact that it's streaming on Amazon makes it even better. I'm going to talk to you very quickly about the film, a few things I liked, a few things I didn't like, maybe touch a very little bit on the ending, but this will be a pretty short review because I think this movie's great. Go check it out. You don't really need my opinion for that. So in I Want You Back, you've got two characters. You've got Peter, played by Charlie Day, and Emma, played by Jenny Slate. They are both in long-term relationships, and they both separately get broken up with at around the same time. Now, they work in the same building. They didn't know each other before this, but they work in the same building and kind of run into each other while Emma is kind of going through her grief. So they agree to this crazy plan where they're going to infiltrate their ex-significant other's lives and try to break them up with their new loves, the ones that they had each been left for. And by doing this, they're hoping that they will drive their significant others back into their arms and have this secret subterfuge that will, work out perfectly. It's a rom-com. It doesn't work out perfectly. There's a lot of craziness that happens, but that is kind of the general gist of it. So things I liked about this movie. The first is the comedy. I mean, you've got leads of Charlie Day and Jenny Slate. Those are fantastic actors to have headlining a rom-com, and I love them both. They are both very funny. They were really funny together. So Charlie Day is just hilarious all around. Jenny Slate is also very funny. So together they were a fantastic combination. And there were a lot of funny interactions, not just with them, but everyone in this cast kind of had a comedic role. There were some really ridiculous situations that happened that caused a lot of humor. There were some funny over-the-top characters. I really liked Peter's ex-girlfriend's new beau, played by Manny Jacinto, who is this like over-the-top actor, theater director who is directing this like middle school play, but he's doing everything so serious and so dramatic because that's just his character. And his interactions with Jenny Slate when she tries to kind of infiltrate that relationship to break them up so that Peter's girlfriend will come back to him was really funny. And on the flip side, Scott Eastwood, who plays Noah, who is Jenny Slate's ex-boyfriend, he's just this like fun, almost too good to be true, like fitness guy. And when he starts interacting with Charlie Day's character, Peter, they're also a lot of fun because Peter is not a fitness person. Noah is, and kind of seeing what he has to go through to become part of his life and then try to infiltrate his plan of breaking him up is also very funny. And sorry, I went a little longer on that one than I was expecting to. The second thing I loved is the writing. There's just a lot of really funny lines, a lot of very funny writing, a lot of sharp writing. I mean, part of the humor in this film are the characters that I talked about and the actors who played them. They are all great. But part of it is just this really fantastic writing. I mean, there's one line that I really love when Noah is kind of counseling Peter, and Peter is talking about his ex-girlfriend and how he's not sure if he's ready to go meet with more people. And Noah goes in and is like, well, you know what they say, you got to get back on the horse. And Peter's like, I think it's horse. And I was like, why would you get back on a horse? Like, what is that going to do for your relationship? Like, it's just some very clever writing and some very funny lines that I was just laughing the entire time. And the last thing I love is the heart. I mean, this film does have a good amount of heart, despite the kind of sinister undertone of their plan. Like when Emma and Peter start to kind of become closer, as you expect, it's a rom-com, they start to become closer. And when they start to share some of their feelings and their goals, like it is really heartfelt, some of the things that they say and some of the things that the characters are doing. And I liked how this film slowly drew them together. It doesn't rush it. You can kind of tell what's going to happen, but the film takes its time and develops these characters, and their relationship develops slowly and kind of organically. And the audience gets to kind of experience that as well. And that leads to some very heartfelt moments and very heartwarming moments, as you expect in a good rom-com. Things I did not like so much, but overall, this is a watch movie. This is a great movie. These are all fairly minor. The first thing I did not love is that the story is a little predictable until there's like a twist about the last third of the movie. Like it develops as you'd expect given normal rom-com tropes. That's not to say the story's not good. That's not to say the story's not fun. It's just a little predictable. There are some kind of wrinkles that happen, some little wrenches that are thrown, but overall the general flow of the story is fairly predictable. Again, not a big deal. It's a rom-com. You kind of expect that. And I love this movie. So, don't worry too much about that. The second thing I kind of didn't like, although it's not really a big deal, the ending's a little bit too convenient. Like, it is a rom-com. You kind of expect it. There is a big dramatic moment that happens towards the end. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the end. So if you haven't seen the film, if you don't want to know what happens, don't watch this. But eventually what happens is Noah and his girlfriend Ginny, Noah proposes to her. Peter is trying to like tell him he's going too fast and maybe he should cool down. And Noah takes this the complete wrong way and was like, "Oh no, I should like this is just the right speed. Like this is the person I want to be with." And he proposes to Ginny, which is completely the opposite of what Peter was supposed to do. He's supposed to drive them apart. He actually ends up kind of driving them together. Now, Emma does actually succeed in breaking up Logan and Anne. And Peter and Anne get back together. So unfortunately, Peter kind of got his goal. Emma did not. And now Peter and Emma, who had developed this very close friendship, we kind of expected them to become romantic. They didn't up to this point, but they developed a very, very close friendship. Peter and Emma kind of can't ever be seen together because Anne knows Emma from when she was infiltrating and trying to break up Anne and Logan. So that means Emma is now doubly alone. She doesn't have Peter, who was her like new friend and also clearly developing into a relationship, and she doesn't have Noah, who she was fixated on. So she is kind of extra alone. But as I mentioned, Noah and Ginny are getting married. So they plan a wedding, and Noah, because he's almost too good to be true, larger than life, perfect person, he invites Emma to the wedding, saying like, "You're a big part of my life. I want you to be there." And he sends her an invite. So at the wedding, Peter and Emma are there. They try to kind of downplay it, but eventually everything comes out. Everyone's upset with Peter. Everyone's upset with Emma. Peter kind of ruins the wedding, although doesn't fully ruin it, but definitely leaves a bitter taste in a lot of people's mouths. And they leave. Now, the next scene is like Peter and Anne are kind of talking and trying to kind of figure it out. And this is where I thought it was a little bit too convenient of ending. Peter and Anne make up pretty quickly. I mean, they were not right for each other, but they kind of come to that realization pretty quickly, especially after like Peter has embarrassed Anne in this really public forum. I don't think like she forgives him pretty quickly. They kind of come to terms pretty quickly the next morning. Too convenient, but hey, it's a rom-com. They had to finish up. The movie's a good length. I think that they probably wanted to kind of not dwell on that subject matter. So they kind of too conveniently fixed it. Also, Emma and Noah the next morning run into each other, and they have like a really nice like chat. They kind of come to terms quickly. He like says, how he hopes that she's happy. Again, a little too convenient when she kind of was one of the vehicles for an embarrassment in his wedding, and he finds out that she was trying to break him up. Again, a little too convenient, but then again, Noah is like this perfect person, so I guess maybe it makes sense. Maybe he would be that forgiving. Peter and Emma then end up on a plane next to each other during a flight. And one of the things that I talked about earlier is like love is putting the mask on your partner before yourself. It's kind of like it's a fun little aside of like you would care about someone else more than you care about yourself. During this flight, there's a weird convenient cabin pressure drop that causes the mask to fall down, and Peter, without thinking, puts the mask on Emma first and then puts it on himself. And then that's kind of when the movie ends. So it feels like everything kind of wraps up a little too quickly. You've got Peter and Anne making up pretty easily, Noah and Emma making up pretty easily, and then Peter and Emma being in this perfect situation that calls back to what they did before, and they discover their feelings in this flight. Again, it's a rom-com. It's fine. It also is kind of a cute way to end it because it calls back to something that I talked about earlier, but it did feel a little bit too convenient. Again, I love this movie, so don't worry too much about it. I thought this movie was great. Really, just go watch it now. That is I Want You Back. It's coming to Amazon Prime February 11th, 2022. So it should be out now. You can check it out, stream it from the comfort of your own home. It's a great little Valentine's Day movie. It's got a little bit of heartbreak, but it's a rom-com, so it'll kind of leave you with a happy feeling. And thanks so much for watching. If you liked this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. And please check out my other content. I've got other reviews, unboxing videos, and reviews and recommendations. Thank you.